Hey everyone, there is a subject that's been heavy on my heart, and let's talk about it. Boundaries. So, a lot of times we don't have any. We let people show up and do absolutely anything in our lives, and we are paying the price for that. When we don't say no and we're not discerning about who and what gets to take a seat in our lives, about what we give our time and energy to, about who we say yes to, there are going to be consequences. The consequences of saying yes to things that we don't really want to say yes to are we become resentful. Maybe we're overwhelmed, we're overburdened, and worse yet, we are literally traveling down roads that we were never designed to travel. This thing has taken us so far off course and led us into some alleyways, some back ways, some all kind of ways, except for the way that we were intended to go, the way that life was supposed to flow for us. Now, if that's you, don't be condemned. We've all done it. We've all taken wrong turns. And so I felt led to talk to us about what's going to lead us back. Now, first and foremost, what is a boundary? And I made some notes here. If I'm looking off to the side, I made some notes because I wanted to make sure I covered absolutely everything. A boundary is something that we put in place to say, you can't go any further than this. And it's not so much to always keep people out, but it's to keep us in. See, the thing with not having boundaries is that we lose our integrity. You ever meet people who are super sketchy and you're like, I just know there's something about this person that it's just not quite right because I see them say yes too much. They have no morals. They have no values. They kind of just go with the flow. So the thing with a boundary is that it keeps us in. It keeps us together. It's a way of saying, no, that lacks integrity to me, or that's not my moral compass. That's not where I want my moral compass to lead me. I don't think this is right. I don't feel good about it, so I'm not going to go along with it. Boundaries keep us in that space. And in that space is peace, it's love, it's joy, it's freedom. Now, these are statements that you may hear yourself make, and maybe it's become such a part of your life that you don't realize you're doing it. But here are examples of not having boundaries. Let's say you're in a relationship and the relationship just isn't really doing what you want it to do. It's not going where you want it to go. And maybe you find yourself making this statement. I wish he would make up his mind. Yeah, I have to pick on my sisters for a little bit because honestly, I don't hear men making these statements as much as women. So you may hear statements like, I wish he would make up his mind. If he doesn't love me, I wish he would let me go. Sis, why can't you let yourself go if you have recognized that you're in something that does not work for you? That is the pinnacle of victimhood, when we feel like we can't do anything about what's happening to us and we just have to let someone else take us along for a ride. Not true. So not true. Also, one of the areas that I can share, I felt a victim in until I decided to take some control was several job experiences where I was super overworked, I was underpaid, and I kept feeling like, why don't they change this? Why don't they do something different? Okay, but why don't I do something different? If I want to go out for other jobs, maybe I need to go back to school. Maybe I need to get some type of certification, but basically staying somewhere that's stagnant, where I'm underpaid, where I'm unhappy, and allowing that to go on for years and years and years in my life, that's not their fault, that's mine. Because why am I here? Why am I dealing with this? I think another area where we let people just run over us are in family situations. Oh my goodness. We reason that because people are blood, we absolutely positively have to do anything and everything that they ask us to do. And again, we're becoming resentful, we're becoming angry, and we don't have enough for ourselves or families or the other significant people in our lives. Now, how do we fix this? How do we stop the just allowing people to do anything, not saying no? For example, another area of no boundaries is oversharing. Y'all, come on. we share so much, not just on social media, but I'm noticing where there's a trend where it seems like you're more popular based on what you share. And not everyone has earned a place in our lives to know such personal things about us. We have to let relationships grow and build organically. I see this a lot in work situations. Now, let me just say, I have made some amazing friends at work. It was because it was a mutual decision. No one was trying to force anyone into friendship or making them responsible for them emotionally without the other person's consent, or oversharing and just deciding, you know what, you need to carry all of my stuff for me because I have deemed you a friend, whether you want to be my friend or not. It gets weird, y'all. It gets really, really weird out there. So, how can we put better boundaries in place? I don't have a 10-step plan for you. I literally have a two-prong approach. This is it. There are going to be two things that you will have to do and that will have to be revealed to you consistently in order to put better boundaries in place. Number one, you have to recognize that you're God's creation. Now, that sounds super simple, but when you recognize that someone created you, someone died for you, someone breathed gifts and talents into you and wanted you to go forth and fulfill those and have the best life possible. Doesn't mean that we won't have struggles, but someone who cared enough to say, I want to give you this life of peace, of fulfillment, of wholeness. We have to be responsible for taking good care of that life. Okay? And the more that that settles in, the more that we get that deep down in our spirit and understand that when you take good care of a life, not everyone can fit into that life. They just can't. If I'm charged with carrying out a purpose, then guess what? I can't say yes to everything that may not be my purpose. I can't take that chance. So it makes you way more discerning about what you say yes to. Number two, we're going to have to experience the negative consequences of not having boundaries. Listen, when you experience that enough and you get good and sick and tired of being led around by everybody else's choice and their decision and never having a voice, we'll speak up. We'll begin to say, wait, no, that doesn't work for me. And it won't be easy. I believe it's one of those things where your voice kind of gets trapped in your throat. And little by little, you'll be able to, no. And people will be very uncomfortable. Let me prepare you for that right now. You'll get accused of being brand new. You'll get accused of being nasty, even mean. But that's just because we live in a culture where we don't prize boundaries. We don't see them as something important. And so we're moving so far away from them that we don't even realize what they look like anymore. True story. I left a toxic situation. I was blessed to leave a very toxic situation. And the people involved in the situation continued to reach out to me. And I didn't want to hear from them. It wasn't because I'm mad, but see, here's my revelation. Over here, we're going to have peace, okay? And that's the boundary that I've set for myself. I lived many years in chaos and dysfunction and not having peace to the point that now I crave it. So when I distance myself from people, I'm not mad. I'm not being mean. It's just that you've shown me how you operate. You operate in messiness, in hatred, and just being mean. And I don't want that in my life. So I made a written statement to the person. Sometimes in some situations, you do have to put things in writing. And I said, I sincerely wish you well, but please don't contact me any further. Now, a good friend of mine that I shared this incident with said, I wonder if the person will respond. And something in my spirit said, yeah, I think they will, which was kind of weird because after someone has asked you to leave them alone, I wouldn't have responded personally. So anyway, the person responded and said something to the effect of, oh, It's unfortunate that you feel that way. And I'm going, why is it unfortunate that I put a boundary in place, that I decided this situation doesn't work for me? I've removed myself from this toxicity and I don't care to hear from you anymore. But see, going back to boundaries are so foreign to us and a lot of people that person, after they had mistreated me and taken me through the ringer, they felt that I had no right to cut contact. All right, join me again here next week for another video, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.